Hello, it's very late, but I am here, and we're dealing with this book this week, Reparations and Reparatory Justice. And I'm looking at chapter, what is this, 11? Reparations Plan. Because, let's get this going. I'm going to have to get a mic. I think I'm going to have to invest in a mic and some backlights. So the videos could be a little bit better. But I don't get any support. So from you all, so I have to work with what I have. Reparations Plan. National African American Reparations Commission. The National African American Reparations Commission's preliminary 10-point reparations program is a document for review, revise, and adoption as a platform to guide the struggle for reparations for people of African descent in the United States. 1. A formal apology and establishment out of African Holocaust Ma'afa Institute. A. We demand a formal apology for the role the United States government played in explicitly and implicitly participating in, encouraging, and sanctioning the European slave trade and the institution of chattel slavery. The apology should be initiated by the President and ratified by the U.S. Congress by roll call vote. B. Furthermore, the apology should be accompanied by the establishment of a permanent Ma'afa African Holocaust Institute, charged with providing public education on the origins of enslavement, the role of private and public institutions in initiating and sustaining it, the systems of legal and de facto segregation enacted post-emancipation to the present, the damages, harm inflicted on people individually and collectively, and the wealth and benefits to local, state, and federal government, private institutions, and white society in general derived from these white supremacist institutions and structurally racist policies and practice. You know, the weird thing is, I've been in politics since I was 14. I'm 53 years old this year. I have to remember because, only one president made an official statement about the reality of blacks, and that was Donald Trump. Donald Trump sat at the podium and said, talking to a black audience when he was president, he said, "You guys built this country. You built it." And I think he was trying to give them some grants or saying something like that, but he was saying, "You built the country and you deserve a chance." He said, "Yeah, it's true. You built the country." Then he tried to back up and say, "Yeah, whites helped, but you built it." And now that he's on trial, he said, "Well, blacks, they can understand what I'm going through because they're thrown in jail for political reasons all the time. The blacks, they understand." Now, he's not going through what we go through. We get thrown in jail for nothing a lot of times. But he is right that we get sent to jail all the time. And that's what he was saying, that he's innocent. And he said black people know because they're thrown in jail all the time for political reasons, for nothing. So, and I've been following politics for a long time, since Reagan. I was following politics when I couldn't vote. And that's the first president that made an official statement and then another true statement, including the black president would never say black people built this country. Now, I'm not voting for Trump, but I'm saying it's weird, man. It's weird. Trump says some things sometimes, but you just gotta go, wow, man. He said that from an official podium as president. Interesting. And Jim Crow Joe, I don't know. I'm not even gonna go there. They voted for him. 2. The right of reparations and creation of an African knowledge program. Aid the descendants of millions of Africans who were stolen from Africa and transported to the strange lands of the Americas against their will to enrich their captors have a right to return to the motherland to an African nation of their choice. Africans in America who choose to exercise the right to return will be provided with sufficient monetary resources to become productive citizens in their new home, and shall be aided in their resettlement by a black-controlled agency funded by the federal government to perform this function. B, the repatriation program will be complemented by an African knowledge program similar to the one included in the CARICOM reparations commissions. So CARICOM is seeking their own reparations, which is good. 10-point program of reparatory justice. This program will serve to bridge the barriers and heal the wounds between Africans in the United States and Africans on the continent. They're really big wounds. Matter of fact, they're just caverns. It's like the Grand Canyon. Resulting from the centuries of enslavement, cultural alienation, misinformation, and divide and conquer exploit schemes initiated by European and American slave traders, colonialists, and neo-colonialists. Emotional emancipation, healing circles, research missions, and cultural education exchange to build bridges of belonging will be part of such a program. I only knew one African that treated me like a human being from the continent. Mamadou Dawe. You might know him. Excellent man. Good man. He was trying to bring blacks and Africans from the continent. He was from the Ivory Coast together. And he died before he could make any headway. But they didn't want to have no parts of it. His African brothers and sisters didn't want to have no parts of us. And he would talk to me and my wife at the time and say, we really have to stop this. We really have to embrace our brothers here. He was saying the people on the continent have to start embracing us here. And but Africans are colonized in their minds. And being colonized in your home is different than being taken and starting over in the new home. Because it's always obvious that you're outnumbered here. But when you're colonizing your own house, I mean, it's really, really effed up, man. It's really, really, because a lot of Africans on the continent think they're English and French. You know what I mean? It's odd. And I'm glad they said a right to repatriation. Some people are into that. I would actually like to see people go, but not celebrities. Because, see, celebrities got money. So when you see celebrities over there saying, hey, bring your money over here and blah, 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 they're not going to live the same life you're going to live. So be careful. But if a bunch of us were going over there to repatriate and I would like to keep a contact with them, I wouldn't go. Because like I said, they've never treated me like a human being. And they're not going to treat me like a human being there. And they're going to be saying things in their language about me the same way foreigners come here and say things in their language about us when they think we don't understand. And that's not comfortable for me either. But I would like to, somebody I knew to go over and, keep in touch with them and let me know what it was like. That would be interesting. 3. We're up to 3 of the 10-point plan. The right to land for social and economic development. After centuries of free labor that fueled the commercial and industrial revolution in the United States, enriched those at the helm of capital and finance, and created opportunities and a sense of privilege for Europeans of every socioeconomic strata enslaved, Africans, or emancipated, without being granted a material stake in the form of land, resources, ergo 40 acres and a mule. To start anew in this hostile land, moreover, formerly enslaved Africans were excluded from government programs like the Homestead Act, which greatly benefited poor and working class whites and corporations. Post-emancipation, land owned by blacks was often stolen through trickery, fraud, and discriminatory policies and practice. These policies and practices were rampant in the Department of Agriculture, especially as carried out by agricultural extension program agencies in the South. They drastically stunted the growth and led to the bankruptcy of untold number of black farmers. Therefore, we demand a substantial tracts of governmental public land in the South and other regions of the country be transferred to the National Reparations Trust Authority with full autonomy in terms of equivalent to the sovereignty guaranteed to Native people over reservations awarded to them. These lands are to be utilized for major educational, commercial, industrial, economic, business, and health and wellness institutions and enterprises to benefit people of African descent. I would just like you to give people land, because giving it to these organizations, I don't trust us in organizations. We don't do well. Give it to people and let us form our organizations based on what you gave us. Funds to support the rest of funds to support the restoration and enhancement of agricultural development, including grants and loans to limit resource farmers to enable them to expand and compete in the U.S. and global economy. So we'll read the rest of some more of this on Wednesday. I'm going to get through all 10 points. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely going to get through all 10 points. It's a good joint. It's a good book. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I think one or two things is either going to happen. It's both are in the air. So there's reparations in the air for black people, and it's up to $300,000. I don't know if it's tax-free or what the deal is, but $300,000. More than likely, if you get it, we're all going to buy houses. We're going to buy homes. That's the first thing you're going to buy. If you have a home, you might put it into renovating the home or upgrade your car to something strong. You might buy a van and live in it. I would like to buy something like either like a retail space with a little house, a little living space behind it, or upstairs from it. I would like something like that, or a house with maybe like a closed-in porch. You know, they have those double porches that turn into a little shop, or a little garage that has a sink and everything in it that I could turn into a little shop. That would be what I would do with my $300,000. I'm sure they would take off student loans and all that other stuff too. But if I had anything left, that's what I would buy. And even if I had to buy like a cheap one, I probably wouldn't get it in New York State. I probably would have to go out west. I can't go beneath the base of Dixon line. I just can't do it. But I have family down there, and if I had anything left and the family had their money and wanted to do something and wanted me to get in on it, I would get in on it, you know. I think most of them have somewhere to live though. Well, my sister has a nice house in the South. So, but I think that's what I would do with the money. So it's either going to be that, or there's going to be something like a UBI, but it won't be a UBI. What they'll probably do is what the stimulus was. It'll either be $1,400 seems to be the claim, but I guess it depends on what state you're in, because what you're going to do is going to be a poverty payment. So whatever you make, if you work for yourself or whatever thing, if you become beneath the poverty line, they will give you probably whatever it is to make up for that. But let's just say, because the stimulus was $1,400 a quarter, so they're either going to give us a $1,400 a quarter, so that'll be 4 payments of $1,400, or they're going to give us $1,400 a month, really, because it'll be closer to what a UBI is, and for anyone under $75,000 and probably $2,800 a month for couples under $150,000. That's what the stimulus was. So that's probably what we're gonna have in the next year or two. And I say that because now you can't keep stores closing. I'm near a major shopping area. Stores are closing every week. I go down there, there's another store closing. Big open retail spaces just empty. And you can't keep having that. And it's basically because people are poor. Supermarkets are going to start closing. And at some point, the smash and grabs are going to become too much, too frequent. And you're going to have to do something about the poverty. You're going to have to address it. So either they're going to give us reparations or they're going to give that stimulus for poor people. And they're going to say, well, it's overwhelmingly going to help black people, that stimulus, because y'all are the ones kept in poverty more than everybody else by percentage. But that's going to really boost, unless they really just don't want to save capitalism, because that's the only thing that will save capitalism at this point. Now, if they don't want to save capitalism, then they'll just let us continue to drift into dystopia. But I don't know if the ruling class is ready for that yet. I'm not sure. Even though they're buying a lot of land, and walling it off and trying to build new little, what do you call it, little kingdoms of their own. So we'll see what happens. But I think basically we're going to get something. We're going to get something. But we'll see. It can go the other way. It can go dystopia. But if it does, then what will happen is wherever you live, it will be yours. Because if we slip into dystopian mode, most of these apartments are owned by big corporations through management companies. And once everything collapses, they're not going to come around to collect rent. They're not going to come around to put you out either. And who's going to come and turn off water? Maybe the electric company could turn off electricity to the units, but I doubt that mayors will allow that, because then that's causing something else, whole nother set of problems. So we'll see what happens, and we're going to see pretty soon. So this summer is going to be really hot. It's going to be really hectic, and we'll see if we make it through what happens. By next year, maybe the year after, you're going to see major change. It's changes that's already in place, but it's not obvious to you yet, but you're going to see it. Until next time, take care and be safe. Oh, support. Hit the links. I guess I'm supposed to tell you subscribe and share, but hit the links, and you can donate directly or become a sponsor. If you want anything plugged, just let me know. Until next time, take care and be safe.